Hi, I'm Justin. If you're towing a trailer with your Toyota Camry, you're going to need trailer wiring. It's required by law. Let's break down this install. You'll need the tools seen here to complete this installation. To begin this install, we're going to remove the mat and the floor panel from the trunk of the vehicle. Next, we're going to remove the rear scuff panel held on by two push clips on the driver and passenger side of the vehicle. To remove these pins, you'll press in on the center of the clip and pull straight out. If you need extra space to remove your rear scuff panel, you can either remove your spare tire completely from the trunk, or you can just slide it back a little bit. To remove your rear scuff panel, we're going to grab the bottom center of the panel and lift straight out. It's going to remove our bottom fastener and then lift straight up on the panel. Before we can begin installing our trailer wiring harness, we're going to pull back on the trim panel on the driver's side of the vehicle and remove our tail light wiring harness. We'll take our trailer T-connector and plug it into our tail light wiring harness. We're going to take our second T-connector and route it to the passenger side of the vehicle and repeat the same process. Now we need to find a suitable ground for our wiring harness. Make sure your area is clear of any rust or paint before you begin grounding. To ground, we're going to be using our self-tapping screw provided in our wiring harness kit. Now we're going to connect the power wire that came with the kit to the power wire coming off of our converter box. To do so, we're going to use the supplied butt connectors. Now we're going to route the excess slack from our T-connector along the inside of the trunk using the supplied zip ties. For this install, our customer elected to leave the 4-flat inside of the trunk instead of a bracket by the hitch. While this install can be completed by only pushing the tire back, we are going to remove it completely from the trunk to give us extra space to work. Now we're going to route our power wire through the grommet in the floor of the trunk. Now we're going to make a small incision in the center of the grommet to run our power wire through. And now we're going to reinstall the grommet into the floor of the trunk. Once the grommet's been reinstalled, we can go back over the incision with a black silicone adhesive for a little bit extra protection. Now we're going to route our black power wire underneath the vehicle, making sure to avoid any hot or moving parts. The best way to do this is to follow the brake lines. To start, we're going to route the power wire over top of the hitch brace that's connected to the trunk pan, and then over the top of the heat shield covering the exhaust. We're going to route our power wire over this hose and this bracket, making sure to avoid the exhaust. All right, and this is when our brake lines start to become more accessible, so we're going to go ahead and route the power wire through the brake line bracket. And we're going to make sure to secure our power wire with the zip ties supplied with the kit. We're going to continue to follow our brake lines, securing them with the zip ties along these brackets all the way until we are beneath the engine bay. Now that we're closer to the front of the vehicle, I'm going to go ahead and tie off our power wire to the brake line one more time. So we're going to go ahead and feed an extended rod through our engine bay, making sure to avoid, again, hot and moving parts as well as the steering column. We're going to use this rod to tie off our power wire so we can feed it back up through the engine. Now that our power wire is secured to our rod, we're going to go ahead and feed it back through the engine bay. Now that our power wire is through our engine bay, we're going to connect it using a butt connector to our supplied inline fuse holder. Now we're going to connect the other end of our inline fuse holder to our supplied ring terminal. Now we're going to remove our positive battery terminal using a 1/2-inch socket. With that removed, we're going to go ahead and attach our ring terminal to the positive side of the battery. Reapply using the same nut that we removed previously. Make sure it is tightly secured. Now we'll go ahead and reinsert our floor panels and all of our mats. With wiring installed on your Toyota Camry, you can now tow a trailer. That's going to wrap it up for this install. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about the products seen in this video, or if you'd like to schedule an installation with the U-Haul Hitch Professional, visit us online today at uhaulhitches.com.